Banks give the best loans. Truth or bullshit? I think back in the day, I know for my first mortgage, my parents had a business. They had multiple locations. They had a good standing with their bank. And a mortgage was just, I worked for the family business. So my parents had a good standing at the bank. So it was kind of, you just walked in and dad walked me in, sat me down, and the woman said, "How much do you make?" And my dad leans over and goes, "How much does he need to make?" And that was it, right? Because it was done. But those days, I think, are a little bit gone. Banks are getting a little picky. They're getting a lot pickier about self-employed people. They're getting even picky about locations. There's certain locations that certain banks just say no, they won't lend in, or they'll only lend up to a certain amount. And that's in York region. So that's where I think mortgage brokers, if you are self-employed, you maybe don't have a strong relationship with your bank. And to be honest, the strong relationship at the bank doesn't necessarily mean anything these days. That's the truth. I have so many clients that come back to me when they go to the bank for their mortgage and, oh my gosh, unless everything is perfect, unless you actually, you get issued a regular T4 from a regular employer, but if you're the least bit self-employed, it can become just a bit of a nightmare. So I've often found for a lot of my clients that over the last 10 years, mortgage brokers have become a little bit more mainstream. It wasn't always that way, but they're a little bit more flexible. And you have to think about it like this. If you want a Ford car, and I'm not talking about used cars, but if you want a Ford car, where do you go? You go to a Ford dealer. If you want a Toyota car, you go to a Toyota dealer. Well, those are the only products that TD Bank or RBC or BMO, they can only sell you the products they have. They can't necessarily sell you something that is a promotion at TD if you're at BMO. And so whereas mortgage brokers, you sort of have, it's almost like walking into a brand new car lot with every single manufacturer there. So not only do they have access to the big banks, but mortgage brokers also have access to B lending, C lending, private lending, all sorts of stuff. Sometimes they can put a deal together where there wasn't one with the bank. And then the interesting part is this, is I've had people do this where they'll go to a mortgage broker, they'll get this deal, they'll take that, they'll walk back into the bank with it, and then the bank approves it, depending on the bank, because they don't want to lose that deal. Now, this is kind of a secret I've learned over the years with banks too. A lot of times walking into the branch is not going to be as good as getting a mobile mortgage advisor from one of the banks. So you don't necessarily have to go to the bank for a mortgage. You can have a mobile mortgage advisor come to your home. And a lot of times I found the deals, if you want to deal with a bank, a lot of times the deals are better with the mobile mortgage team rather than with the branch. But definitely when you are, look, mortgage brokers, banks, do them all.